What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Diamond Select Iron Giant. So before we get into this, huge shout out to Diamond Select for sending this figure out to me to review. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You guys frequently hook me up, and I do appreciate it every single time, so thank you so much. But let's go ahead and get into it, starting off with the packaging. It is the typical big Diamond Select packaging, but in this case it's okay because Iron Giant is a big figure. You are able to see the figure itself. You can see the accessories, and you can see the little Hogarth that he comes with up in the corner. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but there he is. Up on the front here we get a shot of the figure and Hogarth. Over here we have some information. It just says Iron Giant collector's action figure with light up eyes. Hell yeah, I'm a sucker for light up eyes, so that's awesome. Up here it says Iron Giant. Down here it says Select. On the side of the box it says the Iron Giant, and then we have like a shot of like a forest, which is really cool. Definitely throwback to the movie. On the back we get a look at the figure itself and then some graphics and stuff like that. And this is actually like the promo image, and there is a difference in the promo image and the actual end product that kind of sucks for me, but we'll get to that in when we start looking at the figure. Over here it gives us a little information about the Iron Giant, which is cool, and that's about it for the packaging. So let's go ahead and rip this thing out and take a look. Alright, so here we have Iron Giant right out of the packaging, and this figure kind of caught me by surprise because it was a lot lighter than I was expecting. I have the 1000 Toys Iron Giant, and this one's pretty heavy, especially for the size. It's like a heavy little figure, and I was kind of expecting this guy to be heavy, and he wasn't. It's not a problem or anything, it's just something that caught me by surprise. But yeah, this is a good looking figure. There's one thing that jumps out to me right away that I really dislike, and it's the thing that I was mentioning before that we didn't see in the promo images, and that's these damn screws. I think those are really ugly, and it was a poor choice to put them in here like this. I saw some reviews where people actually liked that, and you know, that's cool and everything, but for me it just kind of ruins the illusion of the figure. You know, it kind of just takes you out. I mean, those screws are like life-size screws that are thrown into this figure. So you got this really nice looking figure, everything looks good and in scale properly, then you get to these screws and they're these big ugly real life screws. So that's something I really dislike about this figure, and I don't know, but I think by the end of this review there might be enough positives here for me to kind of stop thinking about those, you know. But as of right now, right out of the box, that's something that jumps out to me as something I don't like. But aside from that, the figure looks incredible. It's a really good looking figure. Looks just like he did in the movie, and there's nothing wrong with the way it looks aside from those screws. So aside from that one bad decision, I think the figure looks incredible, and they did a good job of capturing the look from the movie. I like the size. I like the color. There's some different paint going on there that looks good. And yeah, it's a great looking figure for sure. But let's go ahead and get in close and take a look at the details. And taking a closer look at the Iron Giant, I think most of the paintwork looks really good. I do have a couple of small little scuffs on the face. You can see right there above his lip, and then right there on his head, and then his eye has something going on. But none of that is major. None of it really distracts from the overall look of the figure. I think overall the paintwork is pretty well done on this guy, even though there's not a whole lot going on. But I love the way this head looks. I like the iconic Iron Giant mohawk, the yellow looking eyes. I like how his mouth could open up. That adds some versatility to the way that you could display him and stuff. And then of course we have the dent on the head, and then moving down into the body right in here, like the collar area, we have some like different shades of gray, and the chest piece has like a light gray, but it all looks very nice. I love that they colored the studs too, because had they not done that, this would have looked very plain. So I like that they did that. Iron Giant has a very simple but like iconic design, you know, so they could have got lazy with it and not painted these studs or not giving them different shades of gray, and it would have looked very boring. So I'm glad that they went ahead and did this. But yeah, as far as the sculpting work goes, I think they killed it. And then right here, like the abdomen, I guess you would say, has some different color grays. And we have some more studs in the waist area. And moving down to the hips, we have those really ugly screws, man. It really throws off the whole look of the figure, to be honest with you. But you know, the more I handle it, the less I'm distracted by them. But once I think about them, I'm like, oh, man, I don't like those things. But yeah, like I said, I might have to paint those gray and see how that works out. Then moving down into the legs here, I really like the feet. The feet are very well sculpted. And they also have like this really cool piston situation going on in the back. So that is awesome. I really like that. And let's see what else we have going on here. Taking a look at the arms real quick. The hands have like different color grays on there. We have some dark gray and some light gray. And yeah, that's about it for the details. I think they pretty much nailed everything that they needed to, so I definitely like the way this figure looks. And for accessories, Iron Giant does come with some pretty cool stuff, including multiple sets of hands. So first off, we have a pair of fists, and then we have a set of gripping hands, and then we have a set of flat hands. And then he does have his Junkyard Superman logo, which is really cool. It clips right onto the front of his chest there. And you don't have to worry about it falling off or anything like that. And the clips seem pretty like sturdy too. I don't feel like they're gonna break or anything. So I'm happy with the way they did this, and it fits on there perfectly. And now for the final and by far the coolest accessory that the Iron Giant comes with, we get this small little Hogarth figure. And this thing is very well done. I can't believe the amount of paint detail this little guy has. His eyes are painted, his clothes are painted different colors, his shoes are painted. So they did a really nice job with this. And what I love about this thing is that he has a little magnet, so he could sit right on the Iron Giant's shoulder without having to worry about it falling off or anything like that. I mean, it's just a small magnet, so obviously you could push it off or whatever, but if you're just messing with the figure naturally, he's gonna hang out there with no problem. So that's cool. And unfortunately, there is no magnet on the opposite shoulder, so you could only put Hogarth on the right side. But still, this thing is just incredible. This is a really cool little accessory. I'm very happy that he came with this. This is something that I always wish that came with the 1000 Toys version. That version did not have a little Hogarth. I know some of the bigger Iron Giant figures out there do, like the Mondo version. I'd love to get that one day, but it's crazy expensive. But anyways, I'm very happy that the Diamond Select version came with this. And another thing that I really love about this figure is the fact that they gave him light up eyes. I'll be honest with you, I'm a total sucker for light up features, especially when it's in smaller scales like 6-inch, 7-inch scale, whatever. Like when it comes to bigger figures, for whatever reason, I'm not as impressed because they're bigger and I figure like it's kind of easy to put light up features in there. But whenever someone's able to pull it off at a smaller scale, I always love it. So I'm happy that Diamond Select was able to fit that into here. And it does sacrifice some of the articulation around the head, but I think it's worth the trade-off. So. And the light up feature is very easy to access. All you have to do is turn the figure around, and he does have a little switch right there. You just flip that, and then the lights turn on. It's kind of hard to see with my lights on, but yeah, there you go. They are on right there. And if you need to change out the battery, you have the little compartment right there with another screw. So there it is. And size comparisons are going to be a little weird for this guy because he kind of fits in a world all his own as far as the scale is concerned. Because Diamond Select makes like 7-inch scale figures, but obviously this Iron Giant isn't like in 7-inch scale because he's a big huge giant. So I have him with a couple of other characters that you would use as giants. On the left here we have the Mezco King Kong, and on the right here we have the Figure Arts Ant-Man. And as you can see, this Iron Giant towers over both of them. He's a pretty big figure. And then now here we have Iron Giant alongside one of the Mythic Legion's ogres and the Marvel Legends 80th Anniversary Hulk. And just to have him in here with a couple of other androids / robots, here we have him alongside the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Metalhead and the Marvel Legends Retro Wave Vision. And then now here we have Iron Giant along with his favorite superhero. On the left here we have the NECA DC vs. Dark Horse Superman, and on the right we have the DC Icon Superman. Obviously, if you wanted to make some kind of shot work with these, it might be a little bit easier with the DC Icons version because he's smaller. But in any case, it would be tough like to try to force perspective of something out of these figures. I would like to find a Superman figure the size of like those world's smallest Transformers figures. I think that would be dope. And speaking of Transformers, next up we have the Iron Giant alongside a couple of my favorite Optimus Prime figures. On the left here we have the Flame Toys IDW Optimus Prime, and on the right we have the Earthrise Optimus Prime from Hasbro. And you could kind of work something out here if you want to do like an Iron Giant Optimus Prime team up. That would be kind of cool. And then next up we have Iron Giant alongside the Masterpiece Soundwave and the Hasbro Siege War for Cybertron Soundwave. And then of course here we have him alongside the Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man and Marvel Legends Bucky Cap. And yeah, I don't know if any of those size comparisons were very helpful to you because Iron Giant is kind of in a scale all his own. So it is what it is, but hopefully there was some useful information in there for you. And then for the final size comparison, here we have the Diamond Select Iron Giant alongside the 1000 Toys Iron Giant. And both of these figures are really nice. I'm very happy to have both of them, and they each bring something unique to the table. So it's kind of cool to see the differences in these two figures. I was thinking about doing a comparison video. I just wasn't sure how much interest there would be in a comparison video. So let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. But yeah, both of them do things that the others don't, you know. So it's very interesting to see the differences. But yeah, I'm so happy to have both of these guys. I need to get a replacement one of the 1000 Toys figure, to be honest with you, because the arm on mine is super loose, and that drives me crazy. But yeah, I love this figure. My mom actually got me this one for Christmas, so I'll always have a special place in my heart for this figure. And as far as the articulation goes, the Iron Giant does have a lot of really good stuff going on. There were some sacrifices made because of the light up feature, but that's totally understandable. But I also feel that there's some things that they left out on this figure that they didn't really have to. So we'll take a look at all that as we get into it. But let's go ahead and start off at the head. So first off, his head does move side to side. He does have an articulated jaw, as you could see. And there's not really much tilt to it. The head could only go up to about right there, and then it could only go down to right there. And at first I was like, man, this head doesn't move very much at all. But then I remembered he has the light up feature, so of course he's not going to get all that much articulation. So in my opinion, the sacrifice to the head and neck articulation was worth it in order to get that light up feature, because I love that, the light up eyes. That stuff is really cool. But yeah, so the head is a little limited, but for a good reason. And then for the torso, he's got like a ball joint in there, so we get some crunch forward to about right there, goes back to about right there, so not a whole lot, and it does tilt side to side just a little bit there, and then you can twist right there at the torso. There's no waist twist or anything like that, but that's okay because you can do everything you need with that torso twist. And then for the arms, they do go all the way around, and then they come out to the side. He does have a Does he have like, oh yeah, he does have like a bicep swivel in there. And then he's got a little ball joint kind of deal at the elbow. So he gets a pretty nice elbow crunch. And the arm comes off. So, you know, they'll probably do like a version of Iron Giant that has a bunch of weapons or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. Or maybe that was the plan and they just didn't get to it. But because the arms come off, you kind of get, you know, slightly increased articulation there at the elbow. I mean, it'll lift his arm up a little bit, but from certain angles, I think he'll be all right. So that's cool. And then for the legs, his legs are on these little ball joints here, so they do go up a really nice amount, so you could get him into like sitting poses and stuff. So that's cool. And obviously, they don't come out very much because that's just not how he's designed. But, you know, there you go. That's as much as his legs can split. And then here's something I feel they left out where they really didn't have to. They didn't put any type of like swivel on the upper thigh area, and that kind of sucks. I mean, it hasn't really bothered me too much, but it's something I feel that they could have put in there. And the reason why it's not in there is because they use this really weird leg setup where it looks like it's two pieces of plastic kind of put together, and then they had to be screwed. So using this style of upper leg, you sacrifice the articulation and you put these screws. I don't know why they didn't just use like regular, you know, like they did with the arms. Why didn't they just do the same thing down here? It seems like it would have been less complicated because all they had to do was make a, you know, put it onto this ball joint. There wasn't any like further engineering. But I feel like this upper leg piece didn't really work out all that well as far as the articulation goes and the way it looks, so that kind of sucks. But, you know, not a huge deal. And then at the knee, he can get, what, like a little less than 90. And then what's weird is that it bends more than 90 going forward. Whoa. And then he does have a swivel here, so he can swivel on the lower side of the knee. And then for the feet, they do go forward to about right there, and then they come up to right there. And the feet do not rock at all. And this, I mean, I wish he had rocking ankles, but I kind of understand. It seems like it might have been pretty complicated to squeeze a rocking ankle in there and still have this piston thing going. So, you know, I get it. I mean, the 1,000 Toys one did it, but again, that's a $100 figure. This is like a $25 or $30 figure. So it is what it is. I kind of understand some things in terms of like restricting the articulation. There's a lot of other good stuff going on here, so maybe they just couldn't put money into, you know, further articulation. But I do wish the upper legs were different though. That's one thing that I dislike about this figure is the upper legs. But everything else is really good, especially in terms of articulation. I think that you can definitely get him into any type of Iron Giant pose that you would like. You could definitely get him in the old like hand on his hands on his waist, posed up like a superhero kind of thing, looking up, being all cool. So yeah, he's a good, he definitely has some really good articulation, and I'm pretty much happy with what we have going on here. Alright guys, so overall, I think this is a very cool figure. I feel like Diamond Select did a great job with it, and to be honest with you, I think this is one of the best Diamond Select figures that we've seen in quite a long time. I love the way that he looks. He does a good job of capturing the look and feel from the movie, so I am happy with that. It's very well sculpted. The paintwork is pretty good on him, even though there's not a whole lot going on. It is enough for the Iron Giant, so I'm happy with it. The only thing I dislike about the way he looks is the silver screws. I think it was a very poor decision to put the silver screws in there like that. It doesn't look good at all, and it distracts from the overall look from the figure. But to be honest with you, the more that I mess with the figure and the more time I spend with it, the less I care about the screws. I'm still going to try to paint them gray so they could be hidden even more, but as it is, it's not ruining the figure for me. I just think it was a bad choice to do it that way. You know, it is what it is. But aside from that, I love the way the figure looks, and I think they did a great job with it. The articulation is really nice on him too. He's not nearly as articulated as like the Thousand Toys version, but that's completely alright. You could still get him into a bunch of good poses, so I am happy with the articulation. And just by itself, the figure is really, really cool. But there's two things about it that really kick it up a couple notches. First off, it's the light up feature. I really, really like that. I think it's awesome to do that on Iron Giant figures, and it adds a whole lot of character to the actual toy, so I'm very happy with that. And the other thing is the accessories. I'm so happy that they threw in a Hogarth figure, and it's cool to see that they put so much love into it, and you could tell that they cared about it because they did such a good job with the paint work. I love the magnet that you could just use to like put him on the Iron Giant's shoulder and just have him running around like that. That's definitely how I'm going to display it. And then I'm also going to put the Superman chest logo on there, and that's really cool too. But it seems like every Iron Giant figure comes with that. Not everyone comes with Hogarth, so it's very cool to see that. And yeah, I think this is overall a really good figure, and I'm very happy with it. So I think that's it. Huge thank you to Diamond Select for sending this out to me to review. You guys are awesome. You're always hooking me up with stuff, and I truly appreciate it. So thank you so much for that. Oh, and I forgot to show you, I do have this Comic-Con exclusive version that I got over the summer, and I really, really like this one. I don't know if I'm going to open it. I'm still kind of torn, but look how cool it looks. You can see that it has like a darker kind of look, and it also has a light up feature, and it lets you access the light up feature from inside the box. So that is really nice. And yeah, I don't know, man. I really like the colors. And on this one, the screws are painted black, so they're pretty well hidden. So I might end up opening this one. We'll see. But anyways, enough. I think it's time to get out of here. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Thank you very much. Peace.